Well, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? It is your one and only D-WIZZLE here. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. I'm back again, back from the dead, here to hit you guys with some more wrestling content. Today we'll be talking about the greatest Royal Rumble that was this past Friday. I know I'm a little bit late on this. I'm sorry, there's just been a lot going on with the opening weekend of Avengers Infinity War, and then me having to finish up finals and everything, so it's just been a lot going on. But I'm back again. We're going to be talking about the I don't know if I can say this is a pay-per-view, but I would say this is like a special on the WWE Network. So we're going to get into all the matches, overall how I felt about the overall stadium, the spectacle, and all that. We're going to talk about all of it. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. Overall, I thought the pay-per-view was enjoyable. Yeah, it was a solid show. I wouldn't say it was a great show, but for what it was, I had a good time with it. There were some things that they did better than WrestleMania, which I'll get into later. But mainly, this pay-per-view doesn't really hold that much significance when it comes to the overall, storylines from the main roster or NXT. Other than like a couple of matches. I mean, having a 50-man Royal Rumble itself, it is something to celebrate, and then having it at the great kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I thought it's great. But like I said, it doesn't really bear much impact going forward. It does open an opportunity for the WWE to be more expansive with their brand, because they are called World Wrestling Entertainment. So in my previous videos, I was talking about how they need to expand to more countries so they can, have wider appeal and not just be USA centric. But as far as how the superstars will, be able to go from here, I'm not sure really. Especially when it came to the greatest Royal Rumble, I thought there would be like, a bigger thing on the line for them to fight for, but it wasn't really. We'll get into why, but yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, this may sound like I'm belittling the pay-per-view, but I'm not. But this is just how it really felt. It felt like a house show with a big budget, pretty much. Because, like I said, the matches doesn't really impact anything happening on the main roster, and you have matches in here that story-wise doesn't really flow with what's going on the main roster. And like I said, the 50-man Royal Rumble, while it's cool that they're doing it for the first time, there's not really anything that the superstars are fighting for which they can use on their brands. Yeah, that's pretty much just how I feel about it overall. Let's get into the matches, and I'll elaborate on details. So the first matchup was John Cena versus Triple H. I'm glad they put this match first, because I don't really think it will be better place if it was later in the card, because like I said, it's like there's not really anything story-wise that is going for this match. They just put it in here so, the fans from Saudi Arabia can see that, because they are big fans of Triple H and John Cena, especially John Cena. You're going to hear it in their match. They were pro John Cena pretty much for the most part. But Their entrances were pretty cool. Triple H had some nice laser light shows with his entrance, and had the fireworks from the outside. That was pretty nice. And then John Cena came out, a similar entrance to Finn Balor's at WrestleMania. He had a bunch of kids on the stage, giving him high fives and cheering him on. And then more fireworks as he runs to the ring. Pretty nice entrances for what I came to expect, because like I said, they're pro John Cena over there pretty much. Yeah, I also like to say the stage is it's pretty solid. There wasn't really anything spectacular about the stage. It's not WrestleMania, which I didn't expect it to be WrestleMania, but overall it was a pretty nice stage. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's pretty cool. Match itself, it was fine. What you come to expect from a Triple H and John Cena match today. I can't really say it's. Of course, I can't say it's like better than their first match at WrestleMania 22 or their match at Night of Champions. It felt like the match that they had on Raw a few years ago. It was on the same level as that. I have to commend Triple H and to be able to still go pretty well in the ring given his age, but he is in good shape, really good shape for his age, and he's still able to go. So I really commend him to still be able to do it. It doesn't feel like he's wearing off. John Cena, he looks great. Also, he's really improving in the ring. He's learning some new stuff, which we've wanted him to do for a while. But overall, it was just a basic match. Not too much to say about it. There was a nice little spot where John Cena was trying to do the 5-knuckle shuffle on Triple H, and Triple H reverses it, and he does his own variation of the 5-knuckle shuffle and does the suck it thing while he's down, and does his fist to the face. So that was pretty cool. John Cena springs Triple H on the turnbuckle, and Attitude adjusts him like twice, and he wins the match, which is what I pretty much expected. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is not a lot much to say about it. Nobody really wants a Triple H and John Cena match, nowadays. We played out with it, So I can't really say too much about it. So after the match, he was thanking the fans of Saudi Arabia, saying if it's such a great opportunity to be able to come to Saudi Arabia to perform. It's really opening doors for the WWE, and he said he would never miss it for the world, given all the stuff that he's doing outside of WWE. He wasn't going to miss this event, so it was pretty nice to hear him say that, because it is while the show itself doesn't impact much going forward, what it will definitely impact is opening doors for WWE to go to other countries. So but that was nice. So the next match was Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto for the Cruiserweight Championship. And this was a really, really good match, which is what I come to expect from the Cruiserweights now. But yeah, it was a very excellent match. The fans pretty much were pro Kalisto for a minute. They were pretty much really dry for Cedric, which I felt bad for him. But I can see why, because Cedric himself doesn't really have any gimmicks or anything that the fans can do to help cheer him on. Really, he's just himself. You don't necessarily need to have like a specific character or gimmick, but it does help you to get more over with the fans. It's just he's kind of stagnant in certain places, I'll admit. So that's probably why most of the fans were like over with Kalisto, because he does have his whole lucha. So that's what's going from. But Cedric is just himself. I do like Cedric a lot, and I'm really glad he won the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. But it's just they need to work. They need to give him some more stuff for his character a little bit. Not enough to the point to change him completely, but he's just a little stagnant at times. Even though he's a great wrestler, but overall the match was great. They were flipping everywhere. There was this one spot where Kalisto did a Tori con Hero off the top rope, which was insane. There was a bunch of times where they were, trying to do moves off the rope, running back and forth, and they keep reversing each other. There was a really nasty spot of them flipping outside of the ring, hitting the side of the ring, I believe. But yeah, it was a really, really good match. I'm glad that this was on the actual card and not some stupid pre-show WrestleMania, because they do deserve to be on a main pay-per-view, starting off the pay-per-view. This is what they should have done at WrestleMania. Outside the Triple H and John Cena match, obviously. But yeah, they started pretty much the main show when it came to the championships, which is what they should have done in the first place with WrestleMania. But I'm glad they got their due here. Cedric Alexander won, which is nothing what I expected. I didn't think he was going to lose that quickly after WrestleMania. I'm sure he's going to get a solid run, especially since Buddy Murphy's trying to, go after. I think it'll be a nice rivalry between Cedric and Buddy. So, but overall, it was a really good match. Yeah, not much to say about it. Just, didn't expect for the title to change hands. And you're probably going to hear me say that for the rest of the review. Didn't expect the title to change hands because there's not really any titles that change hands. Except for this match coming up. We have Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus The Bar for the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships. If you guys watched my WrestleMania review, you knew how much of a tirade I went on for that Raw Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania. I thought it was a complete borderline joke and an embarrassment for the WWE, with Braun Strowman getting some kid named Nicholas. I don't care. This is about his name, but I think his name is Nicholas. Pretty much getting a kid from the audience to beat The Bar at WrestleMania for the tag team titles, only to have him vacated the next day on Raw. So you completely wasted our time at WrestleMania. And so the title was vacant for a couple weeks. So Kurt Angle had this tag team tournament or elimination type thing where a bunch of tag teams were fighting to see who will face The Bar at the Greatest Royal Rumble for the vacant titles. And Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt won. And so now they're facing them at the Greatest Royal Rumble. And overall, the match was fine. It wasn't really anything great. I didn't really expect anything great. I think this was just going to be more of a gimmick entertainment match, which it was. I thought it was pretty funny. You had some nice spots where Cesaro was doing the bar thing to Woken Matt Hardy in the ring, and he keeps doing delete every time he does the bar to him. So it was like a nice little exchange. The bar, delete. The bar, delete. The bar, delete. I mean, yeah, that's funny. You had nice spots there. And freaking Bray Wyatt doing his reverse tarantula thing. Yeah, it's just it was an entertaining match, but it wasn't a great match. There wasn't any like amazing spots. I mean, there was a nice spot where Sheamus and Cesaro did their modified white noise. That was a nice spot, and then for Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt did the modified twist of fate to win the titles. The new Raw Tag Team titles, which is what they should have, what it should be. Because spoiler alert, Sheamus and Cesaro are on SmackDown now. They're not on Raw, so of course they're not going to win the tag team titles. And Bray and Matt have been building up their tag team for a few weeks, so it's a nice payoff here. This is why I've been saying from the beginning that they should have waited to do the Superstar Shakeup after Backlash, because that would have made more sense. Because in doing this, we pretty much know the outcome of what the most of the matches are here, because half the superstars are already drafted to SmackDown. So of course they're not going to win specific titles that are on Raw. So we know what the outcome's going to be. There's not going to be any significant change. That's just another reason why I feel like this match this overall pay-per-view was predictable because of that, which really hurt them. So they really jumped the gun with the Superstar Shakeup. Should have waited after Backlash. But yeah, so overall, I'm happy. Brain, Matt won. Can't wait to see what they do with their tag team, but I'm sure it's going to be delightful. Yeah. Next match on the card, we had Jeff Hardy versus the modern day Maharaja Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. It's funny that Saudi Arabia doesn't like Jinder Mahal either. They were like booing him all throughout the match. This match, it wasn't good. It was not fun to watch. I was bored. It wasn't horrendous, but it just wasn't anything special. I didn't care for this match at all. And once again, spoiler alert, Jinder Mahal is on Raw, and Jeff Hardy got drafted to SmackDown. So, yeah, the title was not going to change hands. This Superstar Shakeup is really affecting this pay-per-view, because you don't really expect any surprises, because they're not going to have like 4 titles on one brand. And I don't think they're even like clever enough to have title switch brands like they should do if they really wanted to shake it up. But just this match, I don't care. Of course, Jeff Hardy won. He still retains his United States Championship. There's not much to say about it. There was this awful botched spot where Jeff Hardy knocked down Jinder Mahal towards the corner, and he was about to do the Whisper in the Wind, and he missed Jinder's head, so he was pretty much hitting air. But then Jinder Mahal just reacted, getting knocked from the Whisper in the Wind, even though he didn't get hit at all. That was really bad. Like, wow, guys, what happened? Jinder, like, he needs to work on his wrestling, because he does some really bad botches, and this was like the worst one I've seen in a while. It's just so bad. Not much to say about it. Jeff Hardy retains. It wasn't a good match at all. Nah. And this, I really wish that they just had Seth Rollins go to SmackDown and Jeff Hardy just stays on Raw, or they could change the titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble, have Seth Rollins, give the title to somebody else, or Jeff Hardy give the title to somebody else so they could switch. But no, they don't do that. Spoilers for when I get to the ladder match. Next one up was the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. How did this become even more boring than the triple threat match with the New Day at WrestleMania? This match was so boring. Like I don't understand, because these two have been putting in work on SmackDown, and I thought having a one-on-one match could probably be more of a focused, technical wrestling match. But I mean, it was. But I barely remember anything about it. There's not really anything in this match that I could say, oh, that was really good or something. It's just, no. there's not much to say about it. It wasn't a bad match. It's just it felt like a match on SmackDown, pretty much. The Bludgeon Brothers retained the titles, which is what I expected. Funny because these both, if they wanted to do a change here, I wouldn't be surprised because they are both SmackDown superstars, so having a title change wouldn't completely be out of the realm. But I'm sure they wanted to have the Bludgeon Brothers have more of a run, so that's fine. Oh wait, they won the titles at WrestleMania. That's right. That's how forgettable that match was at WrestleMania. So yeah, the Bludgeon Brothers were going to win. It was fine. If there wasn't the rule in Arabia that women couldn't compete in the sports, I'm sure Naomi was going to come in and try to interfere in the match, but that didn't happen, which was fine. I understand it's like the customs of Arabia; you have to respect them. But yeah, overall, it was just a basic match on SmackDown that they put on the show. That's why I feel like this is what I'm saying. This feels like a house show on a budget. It was fine. I don't have any complaints about it, but there isn't really anything about the match that I'm like, ooh, that was really good. Yeah, Bludgeon Brothers retain. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. You got Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz versus Finn Balor. This is probably the best match on the card. Once again, they're just stealing the show. Because WrestleMania, they had one of the best matches on the card. And this one was really good also. For the most part, it was the Samoa Joe show. He was dominating for a good portion of the match. He was like throwing people on ladders. He was tossing people on the turnbuckle with the ladder on it. He was just dominating. Samoa Joe is just a beast. I'm glad he's back from his injury. Gonna be in a more perfect time. Yeah, overall it was pretty much it was a pretty good ladder match. Don't have too much going on with it other than Samoa Joe dominating. You had some nice spots here with Finn Balor doing coup de grace everywhere, and I don't remember The Miz doing that much. Yeah, don't remember The Miz doing that much. Seth Rollins doing some nice spots here and there. Yeah, it was a very entertaining match. Once again, the superstar shakeups affecting some of the outcomes. We know for sure Samoa Joe is not going to win the match, or The Miz, because they both got drafted to SmackDown, so that kind of gives it away there. Even though, as I said, kind of alluded in when I was talking about the Jeff Hardy and Jinder Mahal match, if they wanted to make it interesting, they could have Jinder win back the U.S. Championship and keep it on Raw, and then have a SmackDown superstar win the Intercontinental Championship and bring it to SmackDown. But they didn't want to do that. I think that would be too complicated. And plus, I'm sure they want to have Seth and Jeff have a good run with the titles, which I understand. But once again, you're doing the superstar shakeup too early. You pretty much are giving away stuff in the matches, so there's not really much of a surprise. Now, regardless of that, once again, I am pro Finn Balor. Give Finn Balor a championship. He is long overdue for a title run. Give Finn Balor a championship. If you're not going to give him the Universal Championship, have him have a run with the Intercontinental Championship. You are slowly burying him. People aren't realizing it yet. He's not completely buried yet, but they're taking the shovel and they're digging. The more they're just like burying Finn, I'm just like, because literally they were playing with my emotions too, because towards the end, like, everyone else was laid out and he was climbing up on that ladder, and he got his hands on that title. But then out of nowhere, Seth Rollins springs up on the ladder and grabs the championship like a freaking puma. Literally just taking it out of his grasp. And I'm just like, what the hell? Now, that was a really cool spot. That was nice because he was like a freaking cat just springing on top of the ladder and grabbing the championship. That was nice. But once again, I'm just like, you're just not going to give Finn Balor anything. I'm just like, what is going on? It's like Vince doesn't trust Finn that he's over. He's over. Like, every time he does his entrance, look, people are like doing the with him every time he does his entrance. Like, what the hell? I don't. And then I'm doing this recording after I watched the Raw after the Rumble. They gave him another Intercontinental Championship match, and he lost again. So what's he gonna do now after this? Like, what's Finn Balor gonna be resorting to? Like, the only thing, because the Balor Club's not there anymore. He's by himself. Like, what's he gonna do now? Either he has to turn to the Demon again, or they're gonna have to turn him heel. Maybe both. But I'm disappointed. You're not giving Finn Balor anything. I'm just really disappointed. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Seth Rollins because he does deserve a title run. Also, he's put in work. Definitely, he's one of the best superstars on that roster. I'll admit. But they're just have him stomp on top of Finn Balor's parade. It kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I'm a huge Finn Balor fan, if you guys don't realize it. And I thought things were going to be different ever since he won the championship, Universal Championship at SummerSlam a couple years ago. But he had to get injured, and ever since he came back, he hasn't been getting the same attention as he should. So I don't know. Seth Rollins retains the championship. Happy for Seth. Hope he gets a nice run with it, but I just hope you don't turn Finn Balor into a mediocre, to the sidelines superstar, because that's a waste of talent. That's how I feel about it. Next, we have the rematch from WrestleMania. We have Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. And overall, it was a really good match. I think they had a better match than what they had at WrestleMania. But once again, it wasn't on a level of their match from New Japan a few years ago. You still feel like they're being held back a little bit, but they did have a better match. If they were going to have a match, this is the match they should have had at WrestleMania. Nakamura, I gotta say his theme real quick. He has a new heel theme, which I really dig. It's just had this band playing, singing words to his music, which has more of a rock background. He's like, I'm like, I'm digging this. This is like, yeah. I'm liking this theme a lot. I know it was probably offensive what I just said. I don't exactly know what the lead singer was saying, but his theme, I really like his theme a lot. I'm getting won over a little bit more of Shinsuke being heel. At first, when he turned heel at WrestleMania, I was like, what the hell is this? What are you doing? Why is he heel? This doesn't make any sense. How's this gonna work? He's so over as a babyface. But seeing him do it on SmackDown, I'm starting to like him as a heel. He's very entertaining. He's doing the no speak English thing and all that stuff. So he's entertaining. one thing I don't like, or is starting to get old with me, is him constantly doing low blows to AJ Styles. I mean, yeah, it was fine the first couple times you were doing it, but the more you're doing it, it's just starting to get old. So he needs to try something else. I'm sick of the low blows. It's just stupid. And he does a low blow in this match also. Um, yeah, the match was pretty good. Better than the match at WrestleMania. But it turns out the match ends in a no contest because they fight outside the ring into the crowd, and they both get a double count out. So AJ Styles ends up retaining his championship. Um, so this is one of the very few times where I don't know the outcome for Backlash, because I can see Shinsuke finally winning the championship, or I can see AJ just defending it still. Um, but once again, I didn't expect the championship to change at the Greatest Royal Rumble, even though if they wanted to do it, it would be fine. It would give something, other than the Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy tag team match. You could have another title change, so it won't be, will be a little bit more significant, but that doesn't end up happening. So it's just building up to their feud at Backlash, which will be no disqualification. So yeah, I'm fine with that. It definitely makes sense, with Shinsuke doing a bunch of low blows and all that stuff. Have AJ be able to become unhinged a little bit more. So I think that was fine. Overall, it was a nice match. Yeah, can't wait to see their match at Backlash. I'm sure that's going to be really good. Yeah. Next we have Rusev Day. Rusev versus The Undertaker in a casket match. What? Rusev versus The Undertaker in a casket match. What? Why? Why is this match happening? This is what I'm saying. This feels like a house show because this match just came out of nowhere. We didn't even think The Undertaker was going to wrestle again after his appearance at WrestleMania. But no, he's in a match with Rusev, and it's a casket match. What? Why? What the hell? This was the biggest head scratcher of the entire show. Because I just have a lot of questions. One, does Vince just not like Rusev? Is that it? Because every time you're burying Rusev or not giving him his just due, and now you're feeding him to The Undertaker. He didn't win the US title at WrestleMania, which he should have. And now this. I don't understand. You refuse to make him babyface, even though he's probably the second most popular superstar on the entire roster behind Daniel Bryan, because everyone says Rusev Day every time they come in the arena. He sells the most merchandise, but you continue to squander him. Why? Second question is, why is The Undertaker wrestling again? Why is he still wrestling? Is he even in the condition to wrestle? Well, obviously he is. He's okay. He was okay in the match. But why is he wrestling again so soon? we thought he was done. So pretty much his dramatic return was just, oh yeah, I'm back, just for a little bit. That you pretty much ruined his comeback at WrestleMania doesn't feel as special because he's immediately put back into a match the next day. I don't know. This match has me bewildered. And then the next question is, so if The Undertaker is physically capable to do another match here at the Greatest Royal Rumble, wouldn't it make more sense to have The Undertaker fight John Cena? Did you guys even think of that? Because they were trying to build up so much about an actual match with John Cena and The Undertaker, and the match they had at WrestleMania was pretty much a squash. So wouldn't it make more sense to have John Cena get more time and more, get more out of an Undertaker match to put him in a casket match with The Undertaker? Plus, it wouldn't take as much out of them in a casket match than they would do in a regular match, because they don't have to do pinfalls or submissions or anything. They just have to get them in a casket, So I think it would have been better for both of them if they did a casket match at the Greatest Royal Rumble for people that weren't satisfied at WrestleMania. Because overall, The Undertaker looked okay in the match. Rusev did his best to help him sell moves. So it wasn't a complete train wreck like I thought it was going to be. It worked for the most part. I wasn't cringing as much. So I think the same principle could apply if they had John Cena face The Undertaker than Rusev. Because Rusev doesn't gain anything from doing this casket match. He's pretty much jobbing. You could have gave him a spot in the Greatest Royal Rumble, but no, you put him in this casket match. It's like, Rusev a joke? I swear to God, you're going to lose Rusev if you keep doing this. I'm surprised he's still here, because they do all the trouble to put him in the Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania at the last minute, but you don't give him the title, and you have him pinned by Jinder Mahal, and now you make him go into this casket match with The Undertaker, and he loses. Yes, The Undertaker wins. You're going to lose Rusev. And I'm not going to feel bad for you guys. If anything, I feel sorry for Rusev. If he wants to leave, then leave. Because this, I would be pissed. Like, I don't really see why he's still staying around. Because obviously WWE and Vince McMahon doesn't give a crap about Rusev. And now they're trying to change his character for bringing Lana in, and so they're probably going to get rid of Aiden English. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. One of the things that really worked with Rusev's character is that he had Aiden English sing him to the ring before he comes out. That whole gimmick worked with Aiden English. You get rid of Aiden English, he's going to become a generic Rusev again. What are they doing? I really feel bad for Rusev. I really do. He deserves better than this. I don't know why they keep doing this to him. But yeah, it should have made more sense for John Cena to face The Undertaker in a casket match than Rusev. And if you want to give Triple H something to do, you can go off of the mixed tag team match at WrestleMania, and you could just have Kurt face Triple H one-on-one. I think that would have been fine. Once again, you could give that spot to Rusev, because Kurt Angle's in the Greatest Royal Rumble. You could have gave that spot to Rusev, but no. You want to do this contrived stuff, which, whatever. But I think it would have made more sense if Kurt Angle faced Triple H, tie things up with that, and then have John Cena face The Undertaker in a casket match. I don't think that would have been an issue. So, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, the casket match was alright. Stop wrestling, Undertaker. Stop wrestling. You already didn't come back as the American Badass, and you need stop wrestling. You're starting to lose it. You're starting to lose it. It is a blessing that you came out of this match okay, and the match turned out fine, but you need to stop wrestling. You're done. It's over. Let it go. Vince, stop bringing him back. Stop bringing The Undertaker back. He's done. You want another Ric Flair situation? Stop it. He's done. I don't want to see The Undertaker anymore. Anyway, the last championship match of the night is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship inside a steel cage. Well, I'll give you this: it was better than their match at WrestleMania, but not saying much. Once again, suplex, spear, Superman punch, suplex, spear, Superman punch. What made this a little bit more to bear? I'm sorry. What made this match more tolerable to watch was the fact that they had a steel cage to play off of, so they could be a little bit more creative. But once again, I'm just like, I don't care. We all know what's going to happen. Eventually, Roman Reigns is going to win the Universal Championship. We know it's going to happen. Just do it already. Put us out of our misery. Just get it over with. Get the title off of Lesnar. First of all, why is Lesnar still here? He signed another contract with the WWE for I don't know how long. Maybe it's a short period of time. But I guess they wanted to have the match at the Greatest Royal Rumble, so they needed Brock Lesnar to come back a little bit for a little bit longer. Whatever. But I don't. First of all, I'm scratching my head that they didn't just give him the title at WrestleMania, and now we have this steel cage match in Saudi Arabia. Was so convinced they were going to put the title back on Lesnar, to put the title on Roman then, because you have a more of a spectacle when you're in a different country, first Royal Rumble. This is a good place to give him the title, but no. So at the very end, Roman Reigns spears Brock Lesnar out of the cage, and his feet technically hit the floor first. But the referees, being idiots, think Brock Lesnar retained because they thought he hit the ground first. And yeah, so he defends his Universal title. What? What was the point of this? What was the point of this? Why? It's weird for me to even ask this, but why didn't you just put the title on Reigns already? Isn't that what you've been doing? Isn't that the point where you gave us that botched ending at WrestleMania because you wanted to give him the title here? Apparently not. They have him lose to Lesnar again for some contrived reason. So once again, we have to sit through Roman Reigns being like, Brock Lesnar's not a real man. He can't beat me fairly. He's barely around. Like, I'm gonna beat him, man. We gotta sit through that for another month or a few weeks. I'm just like, can you just put the title on Reigns already? Can you just do it already? Like, I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of Roman Reigns just complaining about Lesnar doing this and Lesnar doing that. Now, I'm not saying that I completely disagree with what he's saying, because I am getting sick of Brock Lesnar. He's barely here. He does his 3 moves of doom, and then he gets paid. And he's barely on Raw. I forget the Universal title is on freaking Raw. I forget it's a main championship because he's barely here. So I'm like, can just put us out of our misery and give the title to Reigns. Just get it off of Lesnar. I don't even care if Roman Reigns wins it, but somebody needs to take the title off of Lesnar. I'm getting sick of Brock Lesnar. I'm getting sick of him. There was a time where I thought he was cool, and he brings legitimacy to the main roster. But nowadays, I just don't give a crap. He's boring. If Paul Heyman wasn't around to be his hype man, I would care less about Brock Lesnar. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So I'm just put the title on Reigns already. I'm getting sick of it. We all know you want to put the title on Reigns, and they're pretty much doing this. They're having him lose to Lesnar to make it seem like he's not as much of a Mary Sue as he actually is. But we all know he's a Mary Sue. They're having him lose on purpose so we can feel bad for him a little bit more by the time he does win the championship eventually. To make it seem like, oh, he's not completely the strongest person there because he keeps losing and he has to prove himself. First of all, he's not even proving himself because they just gave Reigns the championship match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. So what kind of build-up are you trying to do with him? Other than just talking trash to Lesnar. He hasn't earned his spot. He hasn't had qualifying matches. He hasn't put in his due. They just gave him a championship match. Out of nowhere. This is part of the reason why I feel feels like a glorified house show on a budget, because they just gave him a championship match out of nowhere, even though he lost to Lesnar at WrestleMania. Clean, by the way. He lost clean, but no, they want to give him another championship match in a steel cage. When I thought they were just going to give him the title there. But no, we have to sit through more of Reigns complaining and being like, Lesnar not a real man. I'm gonna beat him. He didn't win fairly, and I'm the big dog now. And like, I don't care. I really don't care. Just put the title on Reigns and Lesnar go to UFC. I don't want to see Lesnar anymore. I don't care. I know there's fans of Lesnar that are probably going to be mad at me saying that, but I'm really getting tired of Lesnar. He's not doing anything. He's the freaking God mode of wrestling. Not in a good way either. He does his 3 moves of doom and he wins everything. He's not even a legit wrestler anymore. He's just a UFC fighter trying to be a wrestler. And it's really sad because he actually used to be a really good wrestler in his old days. In the early 2000s, before Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20, before his match at WrestleMania 20 with Goldberg, he was a legit wrestler. On the levels of Kurt Angle. But now he's just become generic. This is not the Brock Lesnar I used to love. So, screw this match. I don't care. Whatever. Before I talk about the Greatest Royal Rumble itself, I just wanted to talk real quick about the segment with the WWE prospects from Saudi Arabia. They had a segment with the Daivari brothers. So yeah, the prospects are just these four guys from the area of Saudi Arabia. I guess they're training to be new up and coming WWE superstars, which I think is really cool, giving their country an opportunity to have someone represent their nation in WWE. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe if they're good enough, they could have a spot in NXT, have a decent run there, develop their characters and their wrestling ability for sure, and then hope that they'll do well enough that they'll get to the main roster. So we'll see. They all seem to be pretty alright. Their character, they don't have much character. They're just themselves. So I think with enough development and training, they'll get better. If they'll continue to be a WWE superstar. I think they'll be okay. The wrestling ability, they'll have to work on that too. I'm not gonna judge them right away because, like I said, they're prospects. They're just starting. They're getting their feet wet pretty much. So there's not much I can say about them right now because they're just getting into it. So hopefully, if they'll keep them around, then we'll see them in NXT and they can develop their characters from there and the wrestling from there. They had the segment where the Daivari brothers were coming out to interrupt them, saying that they're minuscule. That they're not gonna do well representing Saudi Arabia, whatever. Saying they can't wrestle as well, whatever. Simple heel stuff. And all four of the prospects freaking took down the Daivari brothers, threw them out the ring, and they all celebrated at the end. But what I did want to talk about, though, apparently that segment threw some controversy to Saudi Arabia because the Daivari brothers were given death threats. Whoa. Yeah, apparently their heel segment people took offense to, and yeah, it's just it's really sad though. It's like they should know, wrestling it's entertainment. What they're doing is entertainment. It doesn't completely reflect how they feel about the country. That's just how the WWE is. They're playing characters. They're not actual people that hate Saudi Arabia. They're just playing a heelish character to get the four prospects over. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're not actually trying to insult Saudi Arabia in any way. So I thought they would be a little bit more understanding towards that, but apparently not. But I'm just hoping that this whole thing brushes over because, it's not a big deal. This is how the WWE is. They have heels from different countries trying to, represent their country, saying that they're better than the other. That's just how professional wrestling is. That's how it's been since the beginning of time. So yeah, the Daivari brothers, I know they didn't mean to insult Saudi Arabia at all. It's just it's really sad that people actually got death threats from that. It's really sad. I just hope we don't have to deal with that again whenever they come back to Saudi Arabia. And I hope eventually that Saudi Arabia will let the women compete. I know it's a long shot and it probably won't happen in my lifetime, but I'm just saying, it's like I think it would be a great opportunity for them to be able to wrestle. I mean, if you want them to wear, if you don't want them to show skin or anything, you can make outfits for them, because I saw this documentary video on WWE where Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks were fighting in a country where women couldn't expose their skin. So it's like they found a way to loophole there. They did do in the Greatest Royal Rumble. They did do a segment about how the women finally got the opportunity to drive, and that is a really big deal for the country. So I'm really happy that they're letting them do that. It is one step forward to letting women have more opportunities. I won't say that they might not have exact equal rights to men, and that's okay. I mean, that's their culture. I'm not going to question it. I'm from America. Things are a lot different here, but I'm just glad that women are given more of a chance to do stuff for themselves. So that's how I felt about it. But yeah, the overall segment, it was okay. I mean, you could tell the prospects are rough around the edges, but they're just starting. So I'm sure they'll be okay if they continue to, work on being WWE superstars, wrestlers. So, yeah, it was okay. Finally, we get to the Greatest Royal Rumble. 50 men fighting for the Covenant Trophy and a championship that's not really a championship. It's just another trophy. Before I get to the actual match, to have a big match like the Greatest Royal Rumble, the superstars, I think, need to earn something more than just a trophy. Like, this could have been their version of the King of the Ring, you know? Like, for me, I would have the winner of the Greatest Royal Rumble be able to have a championship opportunity with, wherever they want, like give them a WWE championship opportunity, or give them an Intercontinental championship opportunity, or a tag team, whatever championship they want to go after, they let them do it. I just feel like, when it comes to these battle royals and all this other stuff, it's like what they're fighting for doesn't really mean much. I mean, yeah, it's a nice trophy and it's a nice fake championship they gave them, but what else are they gonna? What else do they have? What else could they earn from this? It doesn't feel very significant, other than they're doing a 50-man Royal Rumble for the first time. But like I said, there's not really a huge outcome like a King of the Ring. I heard King of the Ring coming back at some point, so that's probably why they're not doing something like this for in a King of the Ring style. But I just feel like the WWE Superstars needs to earn something a little bit more than just a trophy, because the Royal Rumble itself, you get a championship opportunity. So a 50-man Royal Rumble for the first time, they need to earn something just as good, if not better. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. So I'm just going to name off the entries one by one, and then I'll get into some of the spots that that came to mind in this match. So number one was Daniel Bryan, who was the Iron Man of this match. He lasted the longest out of everyone. Dolph Ziggler, number 2. Sin Cara, number 3. Curtis Axel, number 4. Hall of Famer, the world's strongest man, and the leader of the Hall of Pain, Mark Henry, number 5. Mike Kanellis, number 6, so he's back. Hiroki Sumi, number 7. Victor, number 8. Kofi Kingston, number 9. Tony Nese, the premier athlete, number 10. Dash Wilder, number 11. The returning Hornswoggle, number 12. Primo, number 13. Xavier Woods of the New Day, number 14. Bo Dallas, number 15. Kurt Angle, number 16. Scott Dawson of the Revival, number 17. Goldust, number 18. Connor, number 19. Who Wants to Walk with Elias, number 20. Luke Gallows, number 21. The Man Beast Rhino, number 22. Drew Gulak, number 23. Tucker Knight of Heavy Machinery from NXT, number 24. The Glorious Bobby Roode, number 25. Fandango of the Fashion Police, number 26. Chad Gable, number 27. The returning Rey Mysterio, number 28. Mojo Rawley, number 29. Tyler Breeze, the other half of the Fashion Police, number 30. Big E of the New Day, Don't You Dare Be Sour, number 31. Carl Anderson, number 32. Apollo Crews of Titus Worldwide, number 33. Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era from NXT, number 34. Randy Orton, number 35. Heath Slater, I Got Kids, number 36. Baba Tunde from up and coming in NXT, number 37. Baron Corbin, number 38. Titus World Slide. Yeah, I said World Slide. I'll get into that later. Number 39. Dan Matha, number 40. You go get these hands! Braun Strowman, number 41. The Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, number 42. So he didn't come in at number 10. So, alright. Kurt Hawkins, number 43. Bobby Lashley, number 44. The Great Khali, number 45. Kevin Owens, number 46. Shane McMahon, number 47. Shelton Benjamin, number 48. Big Cass, number 49. And the returning, you just made the list! Chris Jericho, number 50. Y2J, the Alpha. Overall, this was a pretty good Rumble. It was very long though, and this is what I pretty much assumed from a 50-man Royal Rumble. It was entertaining for sure, but yeah, it was very long. Daniel Bryan, like I said, was the Iron Man of this match. He was Survivor pretty much, and pretty much he was one of my picks to win. It was either Daniel Bryan, Rusev, which he didn't end up being in the match, Dolph Ziggler, Braun Strowman, and Chris Jericho. Those were my picks, I guess, for who I thought was going to win. So Daniel Bryan had some good spots here and there. The New Day with Xavier Woods and Kofi had some nice team ups here and there, where Kofi was about to be thrown over the top rope, but Xavier catches him. Kofi is like on top of him like an electric chair, and helps him get back in the ring. Springboards off of Xavier back into the ring. That was really nice. Braun Strowman, of course, coming in, cleaning house, eliminating everybody or most people, and there was a funny segment with Mark Henry and Hiroki Sumi. They were trying to do this sumo, strength testing. That was funny. Hornswoggle. I don't like Hornswoggle. I never liked Hornswoggle. But I guess there are fans of him for sure. He did his white noise move, which was pretty funny. Let's see. I'm trying to see. There was a lot going on in this match for sure. There was a funny segment where Tony Nese was dancing with Xavier and Kofi after they were eliminating somebody, and they were doing their victory dance, and Tony Nese dances with them for a minute, and Xavier and Kofi were looking at him strange, like, what is he doing? And then they both eliminate Tony Nese, so that was funny. Rey Mysterio had some nice spots here and there. I don't think he got as much. He didn't get really any eliminations. He probably got one, but he gets eliminated by Baron Corbin in the most sucky way possible. I thought he was going to eliminate Baron, but no, he gets the cheap shot on him. So that was kind of eh. Big E comes in with his pancakes and throws a bunch of pancakes at Tucker Knight. And he's just like, what are you doing? And then Big E eliminates Tucker Knight just out of nowhere. So that was disappointing. And then he continues to throw pancakes at him outside the ring. Let's see, what else happened? Randy Orton coming out doing RKOs out of nowhere. I think Apollo was trying to do a springboard off the top rope, and then Randy RKO's him in midair. Kurt Hawkins was about to come to the ring. Kurt Hawkins, he comes into the ring, and he was running away from Braun Strowman, but he freaking Braun chases him up the ramp and knocks him down, and then throws him into the ring and eliminates him. That was funny. Chris Jericho came in and just was knocking everyone left to right. He does the springboard kick off the rope, his vintage thing there. Bobby Lashley comes in and cleans house. I was hoping he was going to get more of a test of strength with Braun Strowman, or even have a little clash with Shelton Benjamin, but that didn't really happen. Oh, excuse me. When Big Cass came in, I had a weird feeling that Daniel Bryan wasn't going to win. bailing because they're starting to have their rivalry on SmackDown, and they're going to have a match at Backlash. So I'm like, it would be the most pettiest thing if Big Cass came in and just ruined Daniel Bryan's moment and eliminated him for the match. And that's what ends up happening because he's in the final four, and Big Cass eliminates Daniel Bryan. So I was like, oh, god damn it, Big Cass. But that's what I probably figured was going to happen. If Big Cass was going to be in this match, then Daniel probably was not going to win. I am starting to be more of a fan of Big Cass, so I can't be completely mad at him. But I'm just like, oh, you couldn't let Daniel Bryan win it because everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to win. But yeah, not like he was going to win much anyway. He was just going to win a trophy and a fake title, so I couldn't be too mad at that. Let's see what else happened. The Great Khali came in and just barely did anything. He just did his clap on people's heads, and then Braun Strowman eliminated him like that. Why is Great Khali? I mean, I get Saudi Arabia, so yeah, I just wanted to play to with the India crowd and stuff like that. But I'm just like, Great Khali. No, I don't care about the Great Khali. Let's see what else happened. Baba Tunde. I don't remember seeing him on NXT. He's probably going to come up to NXT soon. I think he's still in WWE development because I haven't really seen him on NXT. If he did, he probably showed up once. But yeah, he's huge. He's taller than Braun Strowman. He had some nice spots here and there, just like bulldozing everybody and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do at NXT. Yeah, but he ends up getting eliminated by Braun just like that. So Roderick Strong had some nice spots here. He's just like cleaning house, doing his wrestling moves on everybody. Roderick Strong, I have to commend him, man. He can go. He could go. And now he's become a member of Undisputed Era, and I'm really happy. But yeah, just Roderick is just appearing everywhere. In 205 Live, Royal Rumble, UK title matches, tag team title matches, like he's just doing it all. He is putting in work. I'm starting to become a huge fan of Roderick, and I think he's going to do some really good stuff with the Undisputed Era. It will be perfect if Roderick, when Bobby Fish comes back from his injury, that he gives the tag team title back to Bobby Fish, and then they can continue the rivalry with him and Pete Dunne. And then maybe one day they'll fight for the UK title, and then Roderick Strong becomes the UK champion. And then all members of the Undisputed Era have championships. That would be fantastic. I hope one day they'll do it. I'm not sure if they will do it, but I think it would be perfect when Bobby Fish comes back and he'll just wins the UK title. That would be amazing. Like all members of the Undisputed Era have championships. They're taking over NXT. I think that would be great. But yeah, Roderick Strong I think is awesome. Okay. Alright, so let's talk about that, actually, hold on, before I want to talk about Fandango real quick, because there was this funny spot where I'm sorry, I'm gonna play, because there was a spot where Tyler Breeze was, about to get eliminated. I think he gets pushed out of the ring by Mojo Rawley, I think, or something like that. He got pushed out of the ring, but then Fandango catches him and then puts him back on the ring, and he's like, okay, thank you, I'm good. But then he gets pushed out of the ring again. That was funny. I mean, yeah, that was a little thing. It wasn't really a big deal, but I thought that was funny. I chuckled. Tucker Knight had a pretty good amount of time in the match. I thought he wasn't going to last very long, but he lasted a pretty good amount of time, probably like 20 minutes. But yeah, it was good. Elias got like the short end of the stick, really. I don't remember him doing anything. He got thrown on some steel steps from Baron Corbin. He was getting tossed around by Braun Strowman, so he barely did anything. I think his best moments was when he was walking to the ring, stringing his guitar, doing his opening segment thing before he got into the ring. But after that, he was just a non-factor. Pretty much a non-factor. Let's see. Ziggler had some nice matches. Had some nice spots too. And once again, I don't remember him doing as much. And he was one of my other picks to win, but he didn't end up winning. I'm surprised Drew McIntyre wasn't in the match, because he could have teamed up with Dolph Ziggler for sure. Okay, now I want to just talk about the funniest part of the entire match. I'm sure everyone's talking about it when Titus O'Neil was running to the ring, and then he trips, falls, and slides under the ring. That was hilarious, and they keep replaying it. He tripped and fell and slid under the ring by accident. That was hilarious. That was probably the funniest. That was the funniest moment of the night. Probably one of the funniest moments in Rumble history. Titus is not going to live that down for sure. That was hilarious. That was so funny. I don't even think that was intentional either. I think that was like legit. He tripped and fell under the ring. That was so funny. Man. Wow. That was very funny. Yeah, he's definitely not living it down because they keep talking about it. WWE keeps talking about it. Other places keep talking about it. News keeps talking about it. ESPN keeps talking about it. It's like that was hilarious. Yeah, that is definitely going to go down as one of the greatest moments in Rumble history. I don't know if it'd be a good or a bad thing, but yeah, that was hilarious. So at the end of the day, Braun Strowman ended up being the winner of the Greatest Royal Rumble. I'm actually not mad at that. I think Braun deserves that. Yeah, because I felt like recently he's just been getting the short end of the stick or putting him in ridiculous, predicaments like winning tag team titles with a child. So giving him this Greatest Royal Rumble moment, I think, is good for him. Now I don't think he's not going to get much out of it going forward, but it's just it's for bragging rights more than anything. He won the first Greatest Royal Rumble, which that's great for him, I guess. So he ends up winning the Covenant Trophy and the unofficial Saudi Arabia title. Yeah, he doesn't even have it the Raw after, so you pretty much know how insignificant that championship was. They almost had me for a second. I thought they were actually going to introduce another championship, because I'm sure they know in the back of their minds that Braun Strowman is not. Brock Lesnar is not going to be on Raw for quite a few weeks, maybe a month. So it's like, let's just have another title there so it can fill the void. But no, it's just part of the trophy stuff. So that's fine. But yeah, Braun Strowman is your winner of the Greatest Royal Rumble. Overall, it was an entertaining Royal Rumble. I can't say it's better than the actual Royal Rumble in January, but it was still a pretty good Royal Rumble match. And overall, the show was fine. I don't know if I want to say it was better than WrestleMania. I don't want to go that far. I feel it was more focused than WrestleMania, but there was stuff at WrestleMania itself that I thought was better, because I think the elevation of the women's matches they had there was helped it to elevate it. With Charlotte and Asuka and Ronda Rousey, and also the fact that Daniel Bryan returned there, and The Undertaker returning, and just the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, I thought was entertaining enough. So I don't know if I could say it was better than Greatest Royal. I can't say that the Greatest Royal was better than WrestleMania, but there were aspects of it that I thought they did do better than WrestleMania. So overall, I would have to give the Greatest Royal Rumble 3. I'll give it the same grade I gave WrestleMania 34, a 3 out of 5 stars. It was entertaining. I liked it, but once again, it doesn't really bear any huge impact to me, other than, they're in Saudi Arabia and they do this Greatest Royal Rumble for the first time. But once again, it just doesn't impact the rosters going forward that much. And I feel like the overall show was tainted by them doing the superstar shakeup too early and making matches predictable. And at the end of the day, it does feel like a glorified house show on a budget. That's pretty much how it felt, but it was entertaining enough. I hear that they're going to go back to Saudi Arabia at some point in the future, because I feel like I think I heard that they did a lucrative deal with Saudi Arabia to come back and do other events. So I think that's cool, but I hope they don't just limit themselves to going there every year. I think they need to expand to other countries, because I think this is a stepping stone. You can go to Russia, go to Germany, go to England. I mean, they already go to England for quite a few times. Go to Africa, like expand your territory, I guess. But that's just how I feel. Yeah, what did you guys think about the Greatest Royal Rumble? Leave comments down below. Tell us how you feel about it. Did you love the event? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? What was your favorite match? Who did you want to win the Greatest Royal Rumble? Were you happy about who won the Greatest Royal Rumble? If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want to be updated on future videos I'll be doing, wrestling content wise. I will be reviewing Backlash this Sunday, so be on the lookout for that video coming soon. And I know you guys are wondering. You guys are waiting for it. You guys are waiting for my thoughts on Avengers Infinity War. Don't worry, I am going to get to it. I decided not to do just a non-spoiler review for Avengers, because I have a lot to say about the movie, and I feel like I couldn't get all my thoughts out if I just did a non-spoiler review. And at the end of the day, people are still going to see it whether I talk about it or not. So I'm going to wait and put in all my thoughts when we do the spoiler podcast. That's going to be coming next week, because I want to make sure my other colleagues see it a couple more times before we get into all the details for it. So the spoiler podcast will be coming next week, I promise. And that's pretty much it for me, updating wise. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I will catch you guys in the next video. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.